Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue, and I am grateful for Real Housewives of Atlanta giving me something to be aggravated and upset about in order to get here and do these videos in such a way that is entertaining. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not bored this episode. I'm glad it wasn't filler. Okay, you guys. So Cynthia wants to dead this issue between Kenya and Tanya. All right. Now let's just go back for a second. Okay. Tanya was talking about how amazing her life is. Kenya was feeling shitty about how unamazing her life is. And so she decided to kind of messily put it out there on the table that Tanya's man was trying to talk to the cookie lady. Her name will change suddenly. Just wait on it, okay? But the cookie lady in her cookies said that Tanya's man, Paul, wanted her and tried to get with her. And then Kenya posed the question that, you know, if something was going on with your man, would you want to know? And Tanya was one of the people that said she would want to know, but then at the table, Kenya decided not to go ahead and put it all out there. But there were at least two people, okay, Candy and Cynthia sitting at the table who knew about the situation, and later on Portia found out. Basically, eventually everybody figured out that they were talking about Tanya. In order to not have very sweet Tanya looking stupid, Cynthia told her what was going on. So then after that, when everybody meets up with Tanya, Tanya has Kenya's wig and she pulls it out and everybody acts a fool with the wig, and it's funny. I personally felt like I didn't understand what the big damn deal was. But see, I know y'all might have thought I was on Kenya's side because I just didn't understand why everybody was making a big deal about the wig. Like, you can have a natural hair line. You can help people preserve their own edges while wearing protective styles such as wigs. This is not a big deal. Kenya, you made this a big deal. You made this a big deal. If you would have laughed this off and let it go and waited for another opportunity to jump and bully on somebody, girl, then maybe I would feel differently. But right now, bitch, you is miserable, okay? You is miserables, okay? And the truth of the matter is you hating on Tanya, so you tried to make Tanya feel bad about her shit, but it's almost like an impossibility for y'all to really affect Tanya's energy like that. Tanya seems to have like a nice little bit of control of her emotions, and even if she is feeling some type of way, she might not necessarily let y'all know that y'all done made her feel some type of way. But either way, I feel like Kenya started this shit at that table when she brought that up. The wig thing was just some real, you know what I'm saying, lightweight, and I mean light as a feather, stiff as a board. It was light. Okay, lightweight shade, okay, about a wig. And Kenya, if you had more confidence about yourself, then you wouldn't have even let that bother you, okay, if you were smarter. But now you want to act like in some way Tanya has messed with your business and your ability to take care of your child because she's put it out there that you were wearing a wig. We already knew you was wearing a wig because Marlo brought up that you were wearing a wig at the table, and we saw that you were wearing a wig. Just because you wanted to brush it off in a moment and not make a big deal about it does not mean us as the viewers did not notice that you was wearing a wig, okay? So for you now to make this a big deal, you yourself, to make this wig thing such a big deal that you have decided to meet up with Tanya, Cynthia, and Eva, also that you can bring in the cookie bitch as a way of trying to make Tanya feel less than about her relationship. It is so out of pocket. It's not an appropriate response. It's just really ridiculous and over the top. And it just taps into how Kenya is such a miserable person that there's nothing anybody can really do about that. You are literally mad at Tanya because Tanya has a good relationship with her man, or that she's just happy. You mad that she happy, so you tried to bust her bubble. And then so she made fun of you in a lightweight shade way, and now you making it seem as if she went for your neck the way you went for hers. And now you going for her jugular by bringing in a flat ass cookie lady who obviously ain't eating her own cookies because, okay? Like, y'all, the cookie bitch worked on my nerves, okay? But see, the cookie bitch is one of those light-skinned women who feel like, oh, I have soft hair and I'm racially ambiguous and I'm really light-skinned and all your men want me, so you're jealous of me. Like, she's one of those women, and I can't stand bitches like that. You being lighter complected does not mean that your features are more attractive. It does not make your flat ass more attractive than Tanya, who is not only light, but is fine as hell, okay? Looks excellent for her age, is classy, dresses better than you, has more money than you, and also has the self-confidence to be unbothered, okay? Unbothered by the likes of you and Kenya, who have tried so hard to in some way hurt this woman. Like, y'all really wanted to hurt Tanya and were upset that she wasn't hurt. I loved it. I loved every moment of Tanya being unbothered. The only moment that I really got upset was at the end when everybody wanted to be like, oh, let's get a cookie. And Tanya's just sitting there like, Kenya and Cynthia get up and leave with the cookie bitch. And I'm sitting here as Eva gobbles down all of the cookie bitch's cookies. Okay, yeah. I totally understood why she had that look on her face of, this is ridiculous. And I'm probably going to cry a little bit in the car. Probably. And it's okay if you do, Tanya. You're human, okay? Bump these batches. Let's go ahead and get into the specifics. Kenya gets there and she made sure to look extra pretty in order to read a bitch. And Tanya doesn't even want to give her a chance to like have other casual conversation. You want to read a bitch? I didn't think it was that deep. I'm hearing that you have an issue with me showing your wig to everyone. So can we just discuss it so we can move on? Like, that's where Tanya is with it. But oh no, Kenya is here to drag it out, stretch it out, okay, and do the most. The situation is not spandex, bitch, okay? And you're really doing the most to make it seem as if Tanya did something so wrong by pulling a wig we knew you was wearing out of a bag. Kenya starts to get into how the money that she makes is from her own two hands with her wig line. It's not from her boyfriend or anything like that, okay? And she discredited her by showing the wig, and now she's fucking with her money. Tanya says, okay, so I sabotaged your business by showing that you were wearing a wig. Okay, so what about when you showed up to Marlo's event to sabotage her with your products? Like, what about that? And she was like, we're not talking about Marlo. We're not talking about Marlo. I said, bitch, why are we not talking about Marlo? Why we can't bring up when you do the same damn thing? Why? Tell me why. Then Kenya calls Tanya a cunt and everybody is like, oh no, we don't need to go there. We don't even use that word. That's not okay. I thought that was trash. I thought that Kenya is so mad, y'all. Kenya is sitting there seething at Tanya because Tanya refuses to change the way she is in order to show that she's bothered by Kenya. Kenya can't stand when people are unbothered by her when she's trying so hard to trash them, okay? So that's where cunt comes from, because she's that mad that Tanya isn't really letting this situation get to her and is really handling it like an adult. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, Kenya's so trash. Kenya is so trash for this whole situation, and it does not matter how much edges you still retain, how long your hair is, whether you wear a wig or not. You a trash ass individual as a person because you thought this was an adequate response. Okay, calling this lady a cunt, word. Kenya, if anybody's a cunt, it's you. Okay, it's you. Then we get on the cookie bitch, okay? And Kenya throws Cynthia under the bus and says that Cynthia was the one that invited the cookie bitch to her event. And she was really trying to get the cookie bitch to say something to Tanya then, but she didn't. And I'm just like, first of all, thank you, Cynthia, for speaking up for yourself, because I'm really going to need you to do that. You really could have went harder at the rings around Kenya's neck. You really should have, because the bitch was completely out of line. I'm supposed to be your friend, and you're going to throw me under the bus. At the end of the day, that conversation didn't happen at Cynthia's event, and the lady works right next door to Cynthia. So if I'm having an event for my business, because I'm opening my business, it's just good business to invite the other, businesses in the area, especially when they're black owned. Like, it's just good business. You know what I'm saying? The cookie lady is trying to sell cookies and also trying to get her shine on a television show, which is why she wanted to come through in the first place. So if we want to blame somebody for being a messy ass bitch, we need to blame the cookie bitch for it, and we need to blame Kenya for it. But I'm not about to sit up here and act like, Cynthia was trying to hurt Tanya by asking that girl to come to the event because nothing happened at the event. Kenya starts to get into how she was really trying to help Tanya with her one egg. And it's like, why you gotta say it like that? And Tanya says how she did feel attacked, even though she didn't show she felt attacked because it wasn't that big of a deal. But Kenya kind of goes hard and goes strong. And, you know, I've done all this research about, you know, IVF and everything. And I was just trying to help you by telling you to just get one cycle of IVF with your little one egg. And it's just like, Kenya, you know, at the same time you're trying to educate people, you're also like in some way dragging this woman down and diminishing her for having only one egg. Like as if your eggs were great. Like, no, bitch, the whole reason you had to go through IVF is because, you know, you waited too long to try to turn something, you know, from them eggs, you know, them powdered eggs you had down there. We happy you got that baby. We really are. But you still the same old miserable, terrible, rotten on the inside ass bitch you've always been, Kenya. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it at this point. Because that little one egg comment was terrible as well. And if Tanya wanted to feel some type of way, that is her prerogative. And how dare you sit up here and act like somebody showing your wig is even close to the one egg comment or bringing the cookie bitch around to prove that her man ain't faithful to her. So then the cookie bitch comes in with cookies and flat cakes. Eva put her hat on like she was about to get up and leave, and then somebody told her, girl, ain't nobody gonna do nothing until you calm down. The cookie bitch sits down and says that Tanya's man followed her to the bathroom, okay? And Tanya was like, aren't the bathrooms, the male and women bathrooms right next to each other in that restaurant? She was like, yes. It's like, oh, so he could have just been going to the bathroom his damn self, but okay. Then she says he talked to her at the bar, and they're just talking and talking and talking, and he said he was in real estate, and then they exchanged cards, and then, you know, the conversation just kind of fizzled out after that. And Tanya's like, wait a minute, is that it? Is that all that happened? Like, basically saying, bitch, you doing all of this and that's all you got to say? Y'all had a conversation down to the bar? Word? That's it? That's all? That's nothing. My man didn't cheat on me if all he did was exchange cards with a bitch at the bar. That's not cheating. That's business. She also says that no one that knows my man would ever not associate him with technology. So real estate? Kenya's like, but the point is, he said he was single. And I know that if when Mark was my fiance, he said he was single, I would have a problem with it. It's like, Kenya, shut the up. Shut the up. Why are you trying to make this woman feel hurt by this situation? Like your man wants you or something. Like, what? Your man is somewhere right now not thinking about your ass. And instead of you working on whatever that is, you got time to bring the cookie bitch down to ruin what's going on with Tanya and Paul over a conversation down to the bar? Really? Oh, y'all are sad. Y'all are sad and despicable. Then the cookie bitch tells Tanya to calm down. She's like, calm down. Like, okay, fine. So Tanya continues to let her talk. The cookie bitch says to Tanya, I mean, I don't know why it's all this negative energy. The cookie bitch has the audacity, and this is when I was through, to come out her mouth and say, why is it all this negative energy just because I'm gorgeous and your fiance glanced this way? It's like, oh, bitch, you are so excited about a man looking at you, ain't you? You can't have that much self-confidence if you are this proud of yourself because a man looked at you or talked to you down to the bar. Are you serious, girl? Are you serious? If you don't go on away from me with this, I'm light-skinned, so I must be the right skin looking at it. Get on away from me with this. Then everybody gets the cookies out. And like I told y'all, Tanya is just sitting there with this look of like just exhaustion on her face as they all, you know, let's go outside. And so Kenya and the cookie lady are outside discussing how good the cookies are. And then Kenya's like, girl, I can't have you around my man. Bitch, you sound stupid. You sound stupid. This whole situation is just stupid and hypocritical and just out of pocket. Like, how would you feel if she was around your man, Kenya? Like, girl, I'm not going to feel bad the next time Mark talks to you, you know, like he don't care about you. I'm just not. And that happens in this episode, and I'm just not going to care. So, y'all, Portia and Dennis go to therapy. And Portia talks about how, you know, this is the first relationship that I've ever been in when somebody cheated on me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, Portia ain't never even been cheated on before. And now you got this little ugly munchkin-ass nigga cheating on. Like, I'm sorry. He's not ugly. He's not ugly, but he ain't, you know, Portia's out of his damn league. I'll say that. But then she gets into how, you know, when we're just walking around the house, everything's good. Everything's good when we're just going around the house as usual. But then we get in the bedroom. And when we get in the bedroom, I just get a mental block. Okay, and I'm like, a mental block? Y'all know what a mental block is when you can't get turned on. All right, but with women, if we can't even do it, that says a lot. Like for men, y'all physically can't come to the occasion. Women, you can just put your face in the place, shout out to Roxanne, and we will get there. Okay, we need, you know, we'll get there. All right. So when she's saying this, you know how serious it is that she doesn't want to have sex with him. And it's so hard for her because she can't act like she doesn't want to have sex with him, because then he'll go out and have sex with somebody else. So she's having to trust him. And he hasn't earned that trust. He hasn't earned it. And then he sits next to her with this look on his face of like just exhaustion and annoyance because he's tired of talking about what he's done, even though they're technically in this situation because of what he's done. He's like, we need to talk about all the issues that we were having prior to that. And it's like, don't do that. You didn't have an issue with Portia until she found out that you was cheating on her. Why the hell didn't you say that you weren't happy in your relationship? Why didn't you leave her? You know why? Because it's bullshit. You just want to blame somebody besides yourself because you so tired of being a bad guy. Well, guess what, hot dog man? When you keep sticking your hot dog in various bimbos all over Atlanta without any care for the fact that you got a woman somewhere you claim you want to love, marry, and be with and all of that, when you act stupid about it, this is what happens. Take your lick, okay? I'm glad that Portia said she moved on the last time I checked in with her. And, you know, I'm not saying I talked to her personally. I'm talking about just the last time I checked in from Instagram. It seemed like she and him weren't together. I hope that they're not. They don't need to be together, because you don't need to be with a man that you care that much about who will continue to dog you out publicly this way. Like, fuck Dennis. He's not a catch for all of that. No. Send him back. Return to sender. Co-parent and let him be. But you don't need to be in a relationship with a man that's got one of the juiciest bitches on reality TV in their bed every night, but somehow they still find time to go down to the Waffle House with 4 other random ass young girls. Yeah, no, I ain't got time. So y'all, Cynthia goes to California to spend some time with Mike, all right? His daughter Kayla is there at first until they start discussing the perks of being engaged and how much more sex people are getting and all of that type of stuff. Y'all know, just having complete inappropriate conversations in front of this man's daughter, okay? So Kenya shows Mark the Bailey wine cellar because they have an event that they want to do for young black men. Okay, and it's this whole thing. I thought I saw the pictures online a while back, but all of the men from the show were there. And, you know, it was just about empowering young black men and having mentors there for them. Okay, so they want to do this event. And Kenya is like, well, maybe we should do it here at the Bailey wine cellar. So they're walking around and Mark is going through in his head what the numbers are going to be like, how many tables and where they're going to have things laid out. And Kenya can't get a word in edgewise. Like he keep, going on and on and on and on, not letting her talk, not letting her say anything. And it's just, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I was watching it and I was like, girl, it's so funny how you got time to call on the cookie bitch, but you ain't got time to get a word in edgewise with your husband. Okay. They call Mike, okay? And, they're talking to Mike about the events. And then she wants to, see Cynthia. And Mike says that Cynthia is in the bathroom, which was a lie. They get off the phone. Why she kept calling him Magic Mike? For some reason, I felt like that was inappropriate. Stop calling him that. Just call that man Mike, calling him Magic Mike. That shit don't sound right here in front of your man. But whatever. They let Kenya get away with all this little goofy, subliminal flirting shit that she likes to do. But anyway, when they get off the phone, Mike and Cynthia are sitting there, and Mike is like, well, what was I lying for? And Cynthia starts to explain, in great detail about everything that has transpired recently with the group and how Kenya and Tanya got into it and how she tried to throw Cynthia under the bus. After she goes on and on and on and on, Mike says, the next time y'all all meet up, I'm going to get y'all some sippy cups because this is some childish ass shit. I was like, not sippy cups. Oh, Lord. I swear, I enjoyed him in that moment because it is immature. But at the end of the day, Kenya started it. So, nigga, listen to what I got to say and have my back. I ain't immature. That bitch came and started with me. So, y'all, Candy and Todd, all right? Kandi really wants to get back into acting. That was really her first love. And she's done so many projects, even some of her own. Y'all remember A Mother's Love and things of that nature that didn't work out because Kandi likes to hurry up and do things instead of taking her time. Okay, but she does want to get back into acting. But it's kind of hard because they got the new baby on the way. And Todd assures her that that's what the family is there for, to support her and make sure she has everything she needs so she can get out here and be super mom. Who acts, sells dildos, sings, goes on tours, and, you know, everything else that Kandi likes to do. And then they get into this conversation about Mama Joyce. Y'all, Mama Joyce has gone back to, okay, ground zero when it comes to her relationship with Todd. They're talking about, you know, wills and everything and making sure that everything is in order if anything happens to she and Kandi. And she like, I don't want to put your name on my house because I don't want to have to deal with Todd. Okay, that's how Mama Joyce feel. She also felt like she wanted to put Riley on her will as her beneficiary because she didn't want to have to tangle with Todd, because Todd would basically receive anything that Kandi is supposed to receive if something happens to Kandi. So thinking about if Mama Joyce dies and then Kandi dies, she wants to make sure that Todd isn't the person left responsible for making sure that Riley is okay. And I understand how Todd feels. Like, after all of this, me and Kandi are now about to have 2 children biologically together, and we share 2 children, you know, just between us. Why do you think I wouldn't look out for her? I wouldn't have her best interests at heart. That's hurtful after everything that they've been through, you know. But that just goes to show that Mama Joyce don't trust no man, baby. No man. Okay, at the end of the day. And she gonna keep her good eye on Todd as long as she has to. Now, I watched Candy's little speak on it last night, and ever since the baby Blaze has come into the situation, the relationship with Todd and Mama Joyce has gotten better. But as of this point during taping, it's a no-go. And Todd says, you know, he's upset that she still feels that way. But at the end of the day, he don't want to have to deal with Mama Joyce either. So please make sure all the papers are signed and everything is in order so that he doesn't have to deal with Mama Joyce. Okay, that's a two-way street right there. I don't want to deal with you neither. So y'all, then Mike has this little party at his house, and it's all his friends. And y'all, Mike has 3 male friends and like 10 plus female friends at this party. And they ain't just your regular degular schmegler. Oh, they all some nice looking women, okay? And throughout the conversation, Mike is the life of the party. Everybody's standing around him and they're discussing his relationship with Cynthia. His young daughter is there, y'all, and things... You know, they forget you there. Sometimes your people forget that you're there. They drinking, they having a good time. There's so many people in the room, they forget that the 17-year-old daughter is still sitting there and still might be feeling some type of way about the, you know, the dissolve or the whatever the relationship was between her mother and Mike. Because Mike is sitting up there talking about how before Cynthia, he doesn't know if he loved anybody as much as he loved Cynthia. Okay, he was in relationships before, but he doesn't know if he was as in love with them as he is with Cynthia. And then they talk about how he's about to come out with a tell-all book. All the women he's been with, all the cheating he's done, he's cheated on every single one of his other relationships, okay? So, yeah, Cynthia is like, oh, Lord, not every. So now Cynthia has something to be worried about, okay? But the daughter was feeling some type of way, I guess, about him saying that he didn't love any other woman the way he loved Cynthia. So she gets upset and seems to get, you know, emotional. He tells her to go upstairs. And then he takes Cynthia upstairs with the camera so that they can find out what's going on with his daughter, KK. And he checks first. He asks if it's okay for Cynthia to come into the room. They go into the room, they close the door, but they're still mic'd. And then, you know, Mike has to apologize for being a little bit too open and honest in front of his daughter. She didn't really need to hear all of that. But I was like, why she ain't been go upstairs? You know what I'm saying? But I guess it's because they're taping. You know, it's like, oh, we want everybody down here for the taping. We need this all to be, you know, a continuous shot. That way it's not like, oh, she was here then, but then she disappeared. But it really don't even matter because I felt like there's so many damn people in that room. If the girl would have went upstairs and disappeared into her room like any other teenager would amongst all these old ass people, we wouldn't have thought anything of it, okay? But they go in there and talk to her and she just breaks down into tears, y'all. And then they leave her in there and let her have her moment. But I was just like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? Why is she so upset? You know, I can understand, but I feel like there's something else. Like there's more conversation that needs to be had. And maybe him having Cynthia in there with him wasn't the move, especially if her, you know, her emotions are stemming from his relationship with Cynthia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's really going on because it's our first time really having, you know, interaction. Like she's been there, but it hasn't been like interaction to this level. Either way, y'all, oh Lord, that was just messy. I don't know how Cynthia felt about that. You know what I'm saying? Going into the room while the girl was still upset, how it all looked. But either way, I'm guessing, you know, we'll delve into this even more. But Cynthia got other things to worry about. Like if Mike is going to be faithful in their relationship. Because like that's something to think about. Like now you're going to be worried. And I'm also starting to wonder, did you sleep with any of the bitches that was at the party that night? That would be my next question. Okay. Did he sleep with any of y'all? Because it looked like he could have slept with some of y'all. I mean, all of these women were nice looking. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, you know, lackluster females in there. Okay. It was all females that looked like Mike could have took them for a whirl. I am, however, interested in this tell-all book because it sounds salacious. I'm going to go ahead and look that up later on and see when the release date is. But either way, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this Real Housewives of Atlanta review. It was a good episode, baby. So I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your people. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.